Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Will. Today on the lathe I have a nice little piece of oak. I actually turned the other half of this piece a short while ago, probably a month, maybe a month and a half. Anyway, I'll show you what I turned from it. So if you can remember, if you've seen it, this was the plate I turned. So we'll change this camera, we'll get a better look at it. So yeah, this is a nice piece of oak. It did have a knot in the middle. I filled it with resin and you can see where it went through. So we turned a nice little platter from it. It's 10.5 inches. So this is basically the second slab from this. You can see where the knot is, but this knot, it's actually in exactly near enough the same position. So and again, look, there's a little bit of burr there, and there's a little bit of burr there to the side of this knot. So yeah, so that's the plan today, guys. Just put that guy to one side. So what I have done, I've put a temporary glue block on here, and as you can see, I just glued a little piece of scrap wood here. So when I poured the resin into all these little cracks in the knot, it just held it. But I put a little bead of hot melt glue around here also, just to create like a little reservoir. So that contained the resin. So yeah, we'll get it on to the chuck. So this is just a temporary chucking point. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to clean this off first. So I'll just get it through up the outside, flatten off this face. I'm going to put a temporary recess here so I can flip it around. So the other side is going to be the underside of the ball. So let's make a start. So now I'm just going to bring up the tailstock just like get it through up. So now I've got 750 RPM. So 5/8 inch ball gouge, we'll just start getting it through. So far so good. Tiny little bit of resin left, but I can take away the tailstock now, so it's not too bad. So now I have my dividers set for my temporary recess. I'm switching over to little diamond parting tool. And 1/2 inch skew just to make a dovetail. That's nice and clean. Let's see how we are for a fit. So that's just perfect. So nice and secure. Now, as I said, this is going to be the underside of the platter, so we can get rid of all of this now because I'll be putting a recess in it and that will be staying. So all of this can go. We shall take a look. So nearly down to good wood, so a little bit more resin there needs to come away. But yeah, you can see the lovely blue colour showing through. So I'll just take another pass or two there. So I'm just getting a little bit more speed, just getting up to 900 RPM there. So absolutely levels. And that's good enough. That's quite clean all the way across. So I'll mark out now for my recess. So now I shall just double check. I need about 134, so I can make that a tiny little bit bigger. Something like that. So now I'll start to shape my, or I'll start to take out this material from my recess. And I can remove the rest with my ball gouge. So tiny little bit more. So now still a tiny bit high in the middle. So I'm going to just switch over to a little scraper. So little 1-inch shear scraper, just take a little bit off that. So now that's nice and clean. So now for my foot, I will leave this much here for a foot. Yeah, so this is going to be the size of my foot here. So again, back to my little parting tool. That resin has took the edge off of that pretty quick. Just clean that up with the shear scraper. And that is nice and clean. So now start to shape the underside. Oh, what I did forget to do was dovetail that a little bit. Just after cleaning it out, I took a bit of material off. So just give it an extra little touch. So back to shaping. So I will have like a slight OG curve on the underneath. And we shall see how that looks. So that looks pretty good, I think. So I'll just refine it a little bit with my scraper. So again, back to the little 1-inch shear scraper. So now that's that section all cleaned up quite nice. So I'll just work my way around this curve So that is cleaned up really, really nice. On this end grain section here, it is a little rough. Other than that, it's not too bad. It's a sandable finish, I think, in my book. We'll see, can we improve it a slight little bit. So I'm just going to switch over to a little spear point scraper and just see if I can improve this surface a little bit. And that has made all the difference. So we've no torn grain at all now. So that's ready for sanding. So guys, what I'll do, I'll get it sanded. I'll show a couple of clips, I won't show it all. And I'll take you back when we're ready to do the inside. So now that's the underside all sanded. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit, and then I just gave it a clean off with the Scotch-Brite pad. So it came out absolutely amazing. I said there's a lovely bit of burr here, a couple of little bits of burr here also, but yeah, looks ever so good. One tiny little spot here the resin didn't quite get into, but that's fine, as it's still a beautiful piece, and there's plenty of tiny little cavities in it, so I'm not going to try and fill it. But yeah, really impressed with it. So for a finish, I'm thinking citrus burnishing oil. So I think that might be the way to go. So guys, for a finish, I started using citrus burnishing oil. Sorry, paused the camera to go and get the can and forgot to press record again. So I just put a little bit on. So yeah, just getting a good coat on. As you can see, that came out really good, and that lovely bit of blue pearlescent resin is just after, it just came to life. So a couple of little bits here and there. As I said, there's one little spot it didn't quite get into, but that's okay because we have a couple of little cavities in the burr section, so I don't think it'll look out of place. So I've gotten a good layer of oil on, so just letting that soak in there for a minute. And what I'll do is I'll bring it up to about 600 RPM and just burnish that oil into the wood. But that is a beautiful piece of oak. It really is. So now we'll get to burnishing. So now with the same piece of paper towel that I applied the oil, just a light bit of pressure, just building up a little bit of heat. And it'll help that oil absorb into the wood. So I can feel the paper towel now is getting nice and warm. And that has done the job. So just going to get a cleaner piece now and dry it off. I'll bring the speed up a little bit for this. So back up to where I was turning at, about somewhere around 800, 850. So that's the underside all finished, guys. So now get it off of the chuck and flip it around and make start on the inside. So just give it a light pinch up. I don't overdo it because you can see the resin is here. I don't want to crack it. So I can see I got the tenon size just right. I can see the jaw touching all the way around, so happy with that. So now I can make a start on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in a little ways and I'm going to form a little bead and then nice and flat across the bottom. So now back up just at 900 RPM. So 3 8-inch ball gouge. I think I'm in far enough now to form my bead, or maybe I might go in a little bit more. And I'm just going to switch over to 3 8-inch spindle gouge. And I'll just use this to form my bead. And I'll take a look at that. So we have, that's a nice bead, so happy with that. So that can stay, just a couple of little ridges here, so I'll just try and clean that up a bit. And that took care of that. So now proceed with hollowing out the inside. We'll stop and take a look. So I have about 1/4 of an inch of material, I'd say, in the bottom. I can feel it between my fingers there. So I think that is actually enough. It's a bit thinner on the rim. So I might here go in just a little bit here, just beside the bead. Now we see what that is. So that's the bead a little bit more defined. So happy with that. Yeah, so I'm happy now to take the rest of it away. Soften that edge there just in case I hit my hand off. So I am quite high in the middle, I can feel it there. Another few passes to come off. So now what I'll do is I'm going to switch over to my 1-inch shear scraper and just level off the bottom. See, there's a tiny little bit of punky wood here, so I might have to do something with that little crack here also after showing up. So I might do something with that. Yeah, I might just drop a bit of tin CA in here before I go any further. So a little crack has opened up here, but it's not on the back for some reason. Yeah, it goes in quite a ways. And there's one here also, and this bit of punky wood here, so I'm going to pop a bit of CA in there definitely. So now that's a little bit of super glue put in, and I left it there about 10 minutes, although I did spray it with a little bit of activator, so hopefully it's done its job. So we'll get it back onto the lathe. So I just want to take a tiny little bit more out of the bottom. It is a little bit high in the middle, but not overly so. So again, little 1-inch shear scraper. Now we'll take a look. So yeah, still have a nice little bit to come off on the inside. Looking better. Now see how we're doing. So it feels nice and level all the way across. So guys, I think that's a sandable finish. You can see where the super glue ran out a little bit, it wasn't quite dry. So anyway guys, I'll get it sanded and I'll take you back when we're ready to put a finish on. So there we go guys, all sanded. Again, sanded up to 400 grit. And as you see, I did have to fill that little crack there and that little guy there. But the rest of it is absolutely stunning. So again, our citrus burnishing oil. So we'll start on the little bit of resin. Oh yeah. That sure is a beautiful piece of wood. This piece is slightly bigger than the other one I done. This one is just over 12 inches. That's about 3/4 of an inch, maybe just a little bit more off. It'll sit about 3/4 of an inch off the table, so make a nice little serving platter, or something to that effect. Let's put another bit on the back just to get some of that dust off. So now we shall start burnishing. So again, same piece of paper towel, usual routine. Build up a bit of heat. So anyway guys, if you've stuck me this far, you might consider tapping that like and subscribe if you're not. I'd much appreciate it. And don't forget to leave me a comment also. So there we go, just burnished in. That is absolute gorgeous. I'm really happy with that. As I said, this piece came from a local mill. It was cut, it was, I'm nearly sure it was air dried, so really like that. So just get a dry piece now and dry it off. Bring the speed up a little bit. So now we should get it off of the chuck and we'll have a look. So isn't that a beauty? So I got it nice and level across. As you've seen, I used a little 1-inch shear scraper, so done a really good job. As I said, there's a couple of tiny little cavities, not much. One over there, the resin didn't quite go in all the way, but that's fine. It's okay. Oak has a slightly rough texture to it anyway. So yeah, came out quite well. There's the underside. Again, nice clean finish. So really happy with it. Actually, the band of resin looks nicer on the underside against the rim, or the foot, I should say. But anyway, it's really nice. It's a beautiful piece. So this one's going to my buddy because he gave me the wood for the other one. So fair is fair. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And as I said earlier, if you don't mind, tap that like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave me a comment. And I shall catch you all on the next one. So take care and bye for now.